You might have noticed that despite being almost no media coverage on Monday last week, there has now been near real-time coverage of the Liverpool Crown Court trial of Mohammed Ahmad and Mohammed Ammaz for their involvement in the Manchester airport incident. Now, I've received a lot of questions about this, obviously most of which I can't answer, some of which I can, without commenting on the trial specifically, for obvious reasons. And if you do want my real thoughts about this trial, then you won't get them until the trial is done, of course, but you can subscribe to my Off the Record channel linked below where I reserve my real thoughts about these things. Please do subscribe there. Thank you all so much for 70,000+ subscribers. Let's get that to 100,000 subscribers, and I would be truly grateful. But one interesting thing at the very outset, the judge in his usual comments to the jury panel, the selection process beginning last Monday, said as follows: "You will have realized from the jury questionnaire, which jury panel members before the jury is selected are provided, that this trial involves events at Manchester Airport on July the 23rd last year. Those events attracted a lot of attention in the mainstream media and on social media, and it's likely as the trial progresses there will be further coverage and comment. You must reach verdicts based on the evidence presented in court. You must not, I presume that should say, allow yourself to be influenced by anything you read or hear in the mainstream media or social media." So again, with the correction for emphasis, you must not allow yourself to be influenced by anything you read or hear in the mainstream media or social media. Then adding that it's of the utmost importance not to look on the internet or elsewhere for information about the case before the candidates return to court on Wednesday, that was last week, when the jury trial selection will be sworn in. Now, that is critically important because everybody is entitled to a fair trial, and this is why the judge directs the jury not to research anything. But the interesting thing is that the judge here acknowledged that it will be widely reported. On Wednesday of last week, the jury was sworn in, and the judge made some comments regarding legal arguments. The judge said, "I told you Monday that yesterday I'd be dealing with some legal issues that had to be resolved before the trial may start. But unfortunately, they were unable to deal with those issues yesterday, that was Tuesday last week, and we'll deal with them this afternoon, that was last Wednesday afternoon, and tomorrow morning, which was last Thursday. When you return tomorrow afternoon, leading counsel for the prosecution will open the case and tell you what it's all about." Now, I'll come back to some of the real-time reporting in just a moment, which is interesting, but with a very important caveat that none of this is comment on the case itself. It is live reporting or relaying to you contemporaneous reporting of this case, which is important because reporting has to be fair and factual and without comment. So I make that clear. What I will say, however, is a reminder that now the jury has been shown additional footage which was not available initially. And what I can show you is the footage that was originally released, which sparked this concern off in the first place, which was this footage here. I'll turn the volume down so it doesn't blow up. But this was the initial footage that was released. And of course, this sparked widespread comments online. It even attracted comments from MPs in Parliament, which I personally think was a little bit premature because obviously this was a live and unfolding incident, and I think comments should have been reserved. But this was the initial footage that was released, which caused concern. And then, of course, there was additional footage which provided additional context, all of which will be shown or has now been shown to the jury and doubtless will be shown to the jury on a number of occasions to show them different angles of what happened. And the jury will be asked to make findings on this. Now, the way this works is the judge controls the trial, controls evidence, deals with questions of law, which will be in the absence of the jury. So if there's any question of any evidence of admissibility, that will happen in the absence of the jury. So the jury doesn't hear those legal arguments because, of course, if they hear the argument about the admissibility of a piece of evidence, clearly they've heard about the evidence already. That might taint the trial and so on. Not saying that that's happened in this case. That's just generally how these things work. And then, of course, this second video emerged, which was leaked/released and by Manchester Evening News had this footage here. So credit to them. I've credited them in my previous videos as well. This footage was then leaked/released, published, and showed a different angle of what was going on and showed that the officers had approached these men and obviously, as you can see, showed what happened here. Now, again, I reiterate, I'm not commenting on this now that it is a live trial, but this is footage that will be shown to the jury. This was the footage released by Manchester Evening News. And then there is another piece of footage, which I understand has been shown to the jury, which I understand wasn't available beforehand. But this is showing a different angle of the same incident. Obviously, it's now been emphasized as to the individuals involved to show exactly what was happening. And the jury, again, will be shown this footage. The jury will be given a number of different perspectives on this during examination in chief and cross-examination. The way that that works is each witness will give their evidence live. In the criminal courts, we have the primary live evidence we call evidence in chief, and then there's an opportunity for cross-examination of said witness. This differs in criminal trials against civil trials, where in civil trials, ordinarily your primary evidence is contained within a witness statement, which is entered into evidence by the court on behalf of that witness. There is sometimes the opportunity to amplify that witness statement, for example, if there's some other information that's come to light, etc. But that differs with criminal trials where the evidence is heard live, and then there's the opportunity for cross-examination. But there is also an additional piece of footage, which I understand has been shown to the jury, which I also understand was not available beforehand, which allegedly shows an altercation between Mohammed Ammaz and another member of the public, which led up to this incident with the police. So I understand that this is what was shown to the jury, has been released by the court, has been reported on. And again, the jury will be shown this footage. Doubtless it will be shown a number of times with different perspectives, with examination in chief, cross-examination, putting across different perspectives as the trial progresses. Again, I'm not commenting on the trial because I can't do that because I am not there. But nonetheless, this is footage that will be shown to the jury. This does go on for a moment. Obviously, this was obtained by CCTV footage. So that is what is alleged to have led up to that incident with the police, for which there is now live reporting of this trial by Manchester Evening News, for one. Just reading you some snippets of what was been reported contemporaneously from court here. PC Marsden said he was exhausted and wanted to allow his colleague to carry out an arrest. PC Marsden was exhausted and wanted to allow his colleague to carry out an arrest. He said he wanted to avoid another hostile situation in the car park pay station. Mr. Khan suggested that the man that they intended to arrest didn't do anything. PC Marsden said that he did not know the grounds on which PC Flanagan wanted to make the arrest. The witness said PC Flanagan had been a firearms officer for 25 and a half years, and he trusted him complicitly, as it was said, to make the right decision. I was helping him to the best of my abilities, said the PC. The KC suggested to the witness that he and his colleagues had been acting in concert unprofessionally, and the PC said that would be your opinion. PC Marsden said he needed to get the male to the floor, so the man was in a position of disadvantage. Then this was reported as a key event. I chose to remove myself from social media due to the nature of the risk posed to me. It's reported PC Marsden agreed that the injuries he suffered on the night may have affected the statements that he penned later that day. He confirmed in hospital later he showed a doctor footage of the incident and that he had an X-ray and had problems with his jaw since. The officer also said he had later told medics he'd suffered from insomnia, and Mr. Khan suggested it was because of the video incident going viral on social media. I chose to remove myself from social media due to the nature of the risk posed to me, the PC said. The officer said that he was told by a doctor that he had symptoms of post-concussion syndrome and had suffered minute bleeds to the brain. No one in that room was with us. They watched us getting violently beaten again and again. The jurors were shown body cam footage of PC Marsden later talking to colleagues about the incident. The officer said the video does not accurately depict what unfolded. When it was suggested to him he was putting on a brave face, PC Marsden went on that he was trying to mask that vulnerability from fellow officers. It's a very human feature to do so, he said. PC Marsden said he didn't recall the conversation. In the footage, PC Marsden is captured saying Mr. Amars had headbutted a man and walked off. That officer was later surrounded by 7 or 8 people, and that he had been forced to smash one of the brothers in the face with an elbow. The KC suggested the officer was exaggerating. I'm the one who's experienced that, and that's how I perceived it, having been viciously and violently attacked by both the men in this, said the PC. The officer said the crowd in the original confrontation in the pay station had been hostile. He said no one in that room was with us. They watched us getting violently beaten again and again. Mr. Khan went on, including the women and children. I'm not specifically referring to one individual, replied the officer. Jumping to one of the key events, and I'll link this in the description below so you can go and read it all yourself. I find it fascinating to read how a trial is unfolding, not being there, because obviously having been in and out of court, I can picture myself being there, asking the questions. Key events reported here. This was another PC. I just remember it going black. PC Ward said, I just wanted to try and keep hold of his arm to grab him and pull him off. She added, I was probably in fighting mode at that point, anything I could to get him off PC Marsden as he had been kicking him. The officer said, I just remember it going black. I remember being punched in the face and falling backwards to the floor, and everything going black and coming around. The blow was really forceful, she said. PC Ward told the jury, I have never been punched in my life. I've never in my whole time in the police service had someone use that level of violence towards me. I've been assaulted before, but never had that level of violence before. I fell really hard. I just remember thinking he's knocked me out. I hit the floor and everything going black. So again, I will link this below. You can read through the full transcript if you are interested. And again, just to reiterate, all of this, the videos, the reports, they are live contemporaneous reporting. And obviously, you know how this works by now. This is a live trial. They're entitled to a fair trial in order to ensure that justice is fair and the ultimate outcome of the trial is fair. So I'll link this below. Do go and have a read of it. I think you will find it very interesting, and it may inspire some of you to study law. Several people have written to me, in fact, over the last few years to say that they've started studying law because of my videos. And to think that these videos and this reporting has that effect on somebody, I think is a wonderful thing. I think those people will absolutely enjoy the study of law, and I think you would too if you read through this transcript. So read through it. I would say let me know what you think, but obviously generally and not specific comment regarding this trial. Do try to remember the rules of contempt of court. So I hope you found that interesting, and if you do want my real thoughts, once the trial is done, I promise you will get them on my Off the Record channel. Please do subscribe to that down below, and as always, thank you for watching.